قناة فلذاتنا.
سبحانك ربي يا رحمن، يا من كرمت بني الإنسان، وجعلت الأسرة تجمعنا وتقينا من لفح الحرمان. إن قام الأب بتربية للروح وأيضا للأبدان، وزرع الخير بأبناء وأسس ذياك البنيان، فسيحصد من ذلك خيرا وسيهزم أجناد الشيطان، ويؤسس بيتا للتقوى ويؤيد من رب منان، ويعامل زوجا بالحسنى ويعمر بيتا بالإحسان.
قناة فلذاتنا.
ويحفظ للأخت محبة، فالأخت كأنفاس الريحان، ويشد بكف لأخيه كي يقفا في وجه الطوفان. أسرتنا يا نعمة ربي، يا وردا أزهر في البستان، يا قارب خير يحمينا إن عصفت أمواج الخلجان. إن عاشت أسرتنا بشرع سنكون معا في بر أمان، سنكون معا في بر أمان.
قناة فلذاتنا.
There's some really good stuff as far as growth mindset. Another thing is let your kids struggle. Just back off for a sec if you see them struggling. Don't let the tears and the hysterics, get to you. Just sit back and give them a couple minutes to work through it. And I have had to teach myself that because I was always so quick to get in there and how can I help and how do we do this, and not necessarily solve it for them, but give them ideas on how to solve it. And it wasn't necessary. If I just backed off and let them struggle, they find their way. It may be super dramatic and funny and a little painful, but children are resourceful and smart, and given the opportunities to just figure things out, they're really good at it. I mean, you think about little kids, they have to figure everything out. Walking, talking, all of it, they're really good at it. So one step I have struggled with still is, as a homeschooling parent or a parent in general, back off and give them a second to or a couple minutes to figure it out. And then at that point, then maybe step in. And there's actually a list of problem solving, like how to solve a problem, which I'll go through in a minute. It's online, you can find it, and I will include it in my article, but I'll also touch on it in the video quick. I'm trying not to make this too long. Another thing, let them play. So if you have older children in high school, guard their time. Let them tinker. Let them find things that excite them. Because if they find things that excite them, they are more driven to not only pursue it, but those challenges created by something that they enjoy aren't really as difficult as challenges. Because if you're invested in learning something and you're happy doing it, it's just an easier process than something that they're not interested in. So if you have older children, maybe pull some subjects back, maybe pull back some of the socialization or whatever extracurriculars. Give them the time to figure out who they are and what they like. If they're younger, give them time to play, because again, that's how they explore. That's how I learned as a kid. Funny family joke, my grandpa, my grumpy, used to let me and my little cousin at 7, 8, whatever, play with power tools. And I'm sure it drove my mom insane. But being given adult opportunities to play and learn and create and explore probably turned me into a different adult than I would have been had I not had those opportunities. So I'm not saying give your children, maybe a chainsaw, but give them time to play. And somebody in co-op gave me a quote the other day. It was awesome. It was something like, something learned regularly. It takes 30 attempts to learn it. But if they're doing it through play, they only have to do it 5 times for the neural pathways to remember that. Don't quote me, but it was something to that effect. And it's true. If you enjoy something, if you're playing, if you're learning on your own terms, you learn quickly, or you learn more quickly than something you may not be interested in. Not saying get rid of your reading and your math and whatever they're not interested in. Still challenge them with the harder stuff, but protect their time, protect their interests, and give them the freedom to explore those. And it's amazing how quickly you'll see that problem solving blossom. I have a friend whose son is in rocket science. I do believe he works for SpaceX, back to Tesla and Mr. Musk. But it was because she used to let him play with rockets. That was his passion. And I'm sure he didn't learn how to build rockets in a day, but that passion combined with problem solving abilities, and he is now working for one of the top leaders in technology today. And we all know, Tesla is, so again, just a relatable example. So another thing, back to philosophy, encourage the whys and the hows behind things. Those whys, my kids ask me why 50 million times a day, and your natural parenting instinct is to just be like, oh, I can't anymore, I literally can't. But encourage it. The hows and the whys of things are, and what makes things tick, will promote that problem-solving mindset. To, instead of just being told what to do, kids that are told what to do and do it, they're great kids. There's nothing wrong with a child that is told what to do and does it and just goes on their merry way. Employers today, I'm sure, would love that, but that's not going to bring them to the next level. Encourage, to a certain extent, the hows and the whys and the maybe challenging of authority to some extent. Obviously, you want them to, be polite and all of those things, but challenge them to challenge the status quo. Encourage that. Do it yourself to some extent. Why is this new tax here? And have them hear you discussing the hows and whys of things. They're important. They're very, very important. To just blindly accept what is being told to you and fed to you does not make you a thinker. It makes you a processor. And processors probably don't have much of a place in our future. It is the problem solvers that will pave the way for whatever cool new technology or whatever the future holds. So encourage it a tiny bit. I struggle with it. My daughter challenges me at every opportunity, and it is very, very hard not to want to just squish that a little bit. But I have to remind myself that passion, that drive, that insatiable curiosity is what is going to make her great. Not good, but great, because at the time that she's challenging me, she may be driving me nuts, but she's strengthening her ability to not only problem solve, but also pitch, and express or advocate for her own personal ideas. So, valuable life skill. While it may be tough to take as a parent, as an educator, I want that for her. So we touched on puzzles, books, games. Mensa has some great stuff, Mensa for kids. Now that is not just, so I keep talking about problem solving and not rote memorization. I want to circle back to that for a quick second. Rote memorization has its role. It absolutely does. You still need to memorize some facts. So please don't think that I'm knocking that, because we utilize memorization in our homeschool through poetry. Obviously, times tables, when you're teaching those very basic skills, little dude, you need some memorization. But the problem is that all of these facts and all of these things that kids are being forced to memorize, Everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has Google. Anybody can Google anything. I Google stuff all the time, and you know, I can get the same information as somebody that has a PhD in physics if I know how to Google right. You know, I can teach that to myself. So learning all of these random facts and not how to process them or use them, it is kind of counterproductive. So please don't think I'm knocking memorization or being proficient and literate in something. It's just a matter of going beyond that literacy into mastery. So that's what I'm promoting, not necessarily knocking memorization. So again, back to Mensa. Mensa has some great poems that you can memorize and utilize websites. They're there. Problem-solving websites are popping up all over. I'm going to refer back to Beast Academy again. Beast Academy has an online math program. Prodigy is a problem-solving thing. They have to solve the problem to get to the next step. So they are out there. There's little ways you can incorporate it, however you choose. Lastly, community. Community is important. And again, I want to thank Richard Ruzick for mentioning this. Community is important. Get your kids around other kids that are smarter than them, that are challenging them, that are doing things, even if it's just that they're higher level of Fortnite, you know, small baby steps. Get them around kids that are smarter than them, because those kids that are smarter than them will pull your children with them.